Good morning, mi gente. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Apron. I'm your host, Cassie,
And I'm Manny.
and happy Monday. I'm trying to think, is there any holidays coming up? Just Juneteenth, but
Father's Day.
oh, that's
Literally next week. Wow. Thanks. Yep.
wait, what's next week? Oh, it's next week.
Oh,
It's
you
this
tell
coming
me.
Sunday.
You tell me. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's fine.
Oh my God. Okay, well, we are back with another great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's little reality check. This week, we are actually going to dive into a crazy TikTok story. Maybe some of you guys have seen it, maybe you haven't. But for now, I kind of want to talk, babe. Have you seen all the recalls going on? Like everything, like gummy bears were recalled because they were found laced with weed in like another country. And then this past week and a half, it's just been like one thing after another, after another. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? Eggs are being recalled for like salmonella. Some beef is being recalled. Dr. Pepper products are being recalled. The Topo Chicos. And then something else. I feel like I saw something else, but it's just been like I said, like one thing after another. So just be on the lookout, guys, for if there's any recalled items like food and beverage stuff in your area. Be careful. Babe, how was your week?
It was good. It was okay.
It
Work
was
is
okay.
work, So just been working.
We have a little date later on today. We live in a small town, so there's not like many like big old restaurants, but after the podcast, we're going to go have an early dinner with the baby boy. So we have that in store for us later today. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about a server's experience. She lives out in Nashville. She works at a restaurant in a hotel. So I guess like in the major cities, you have restaurants attached to resorts and hotels, and she works at one of these. This TikTok was originally posted, I think, 2 weeks ago. Her name is Teagan Stewart. You can find her on TikTok at Teagan Stewart Music. And she posted the original video on May 25th. So it's been about a week and a half. Oh, it's actually been 2 weeks. My bad. But it's kind of a crazy story. And man, you haven't heard it. So I'm going to get your jaw dropping, honest reaction. I kind of want to see what you guys think in the comments about this. I'm hoping to get her on the podcast soon. I did reach out to her on socials and hopefully she sees it so we can get a little bit more detailed. Obviously, TikTok, you can only do so much in videos and it's more of a short form content. So I kind of want to hear, I did see some follow-up videos that we'll talk towards the end about, the guests ending up seeing her video go viral on TikTok. It has over 5 million views and it's been insane. So it's going to be a good one, babe. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So I'm going to set the stage. So this girl, Teagan, she works at a Nashville restaurant hotel. She was sat a 9-top and she specifies that this 9-top was actually sat in their private dining room because of the fact that they had no space for them in their regular dining room. So you already know, okay, this is like a secluded room, probably closed doors, like you're in a private place. So it's just you and your guests.
Okay.
The 9-top of women, only 3 are there. First red flag. If half of your party's not there and you're not and it's different. Okay, this is a party. This isn't a 4-top where 2 people are there and you want to get like a regular table in a dining room. That is different. I see that as something a lot more casual and I'd let slip up. But as a manager and as a server and being a host too, and kind of having like a well-rounded view on this and perspective and background knowledge, if it's a party, I'm not sitting one person. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sitting you if you don't have half or more of your party. Like
Yep.
that's different. When it's a big group of people, automatically I would say no, you're not going to get sat unless the restaurant is completely dead and servers are begging for a table. Like if you
There's
are in
there's certain circumstances that but if it's a regular day and everything's going normal, no, you're just not going to sit 1 out of 9 people or 3 out of 9 people in that case.
exactly. So that would have been like my first red flag. I don't know what this restaurant's
Policy.
policy is because the server even said like this is why you don't sit your table if half or more are not there, but whatever. We'll get into that later. The server at the time, Teagan, she has 7 other tables. So we know what that feels like, being a server and having that experience and being in the trenches of either a short staffed shift or that's just how the cookie crumbles. Like that's just how they run their shifts. So this server had 7 other tables on top of her 9 top. Mind you, again, it's in a private room, so she's probably outside of her section. She offers them coffee. She gets them their coffee. She offers them appetizers. They chose like a French toast and some pastries, like to split amongst everyone, while the rest of the women waited for everyone else to get there. So she goes and she takes care of her other tables. Again, we're setting the scene. This is a Sunday in Nashville at a hotel restaurant for brunch. These places, I guarantee you, are packed. So she has other tables she has to attend to. I guess the servers, I guess the guests start trickling in. And of course it happens that they say, you know what, we're ready to order. And she says, well, I'm not ready for you. I have other guests and I'm taking their order. I mean, obviously she didn't say that, but in my mind and having that experience, that's how it goes. Like you could be at a table and then your party starts whistling at you and like snapping their fingers and like clapping at you and hollering at you like, hey, we're ready to order. And like how would you react in that moment?
Why she did? I'd be like, hey, give me 1 second.
Exactly. So you turn around as any other server would and be like, okay, give me a minute. Do you not, my point is like, do you not see me? Like, do you not see what I'm doing? I'm not standing at the POS on my phone or I'm not in the back in the kitchen where you can't see me and you're waiting for me to come out. Like, if she's at another table, put some common sense into like
Use
where you're
common
at.
sense.
Exactly. Use common sense, please. So she goes to the table and she takes her order. These are 9 women
Uh-huh.
and they each order their entrees and you're going to get those people that say, you know what, 86 that, add this, can you make substitute this and blah, blah, blah. So she takes their order. She gets all of their modifications in. She puts in their order and she's like done. She goes on to explain like once my food and once your order is sent, my part is done. I don't cook your food. So I have no control over the time. You get me? You also have to remember this is Sunday in Nashville for brunch. Like, be aware of where you're at. You're not going to a McDonald's. You're not going to like Subway. Like, you're not going to a Chick-fil-A. You're not in a fast food your
Environment.
element. Exactly. So know where you are. Like, be aware of that. For brunch, you're normally drinking. You're having a coffee, like stuff like that. And so I think that they complain. I'm not sure. Regardless, she says that the food didn't take out of the ordinary. Like it's Sunday brunch, it's busy in Nashville. And so it probably took anywhere between like 20 to 30 minutes, I think is what she said. I could be very wrong. Fast forward, I guess the food's out and she runs everything. She says that nobody else ran everything. I think she did say earlier in the video that she did set up their table. Like she set it up with like plates and stuff like that. She had her coworkers help in that sense. But as far as the food running out, she ran everything. She made sure everything was correct. There was nothing wrong with that order. No, like nothing came out wrong. Nothing came out cold. She takes the food, she delivers it. They didn't say anything, I think, in that moment. She did say at some point in the video that they were complaining that it was cold, but for big parties, babe. Some restaurants do this, some restaurants don't. When it comes to like a tip situation, what's a tip situation?
What do you mean?
Like okay, so for example, Darden, Olive Garden. At how many people do you auto grad?
Isn't it like above 10?
I think it's above 8.
I think. I don't know. I was never told this, but I get what you're saying. I was never told this, so don't give
You
me that
worked
look.
at Olive
I
Garden.
I worked at it for 3 months.
Yeah, at Cheddar's, even though we were Darden, I think it was because we were.
It was more of a family restaurant, so I didn't really care.
No, it's not that. We were an independent company before Darden bought us. Like it was just Cheddar's. Like
No,
Cheddar's was its own
yeah, but
place.
once you get bought out
So
by
we didn't auto
Darden,
grad.
you follow Darden rule, but we still never auto graded.
Yeah, we never did. And so
But anyways,
regardless, a lot of the restaurants now, they do auto grad.
uh-huh.
Some restaurants, it's if it's over 6, if it's over 8, if it's over 10. She says that they have that policy, so she was going to auto grad. In conversation with her coworkers and the managers, they were telling her like, hey, like these women normally come here all the time and they're already known and they're just very difficult. They normally ask their check for it to be split in 3 ways. So she said, fine. They asked for the check and then she said, you guys are going to want it 3 ways or something like that. And then they told her, no, like we wanted 9 ways, like each one their own check.
God.
And she's like, dude, mind you, I have 7 other tables. Like this is like crunch time. This is not like Wednesday at 2 p.m. like, or a Monday at 6, 7 p.m. Like it's high crunch time, high tension. Like,
That I understand that. But to play devil's advocate, I personally, when I have big parties like that, I already like because I know people do this and like over the years I learned that everyone always like they never tell you when they're ordering, they just tell you at the end, which is okay, but like my advice to anyone who's in the service industry or is just getting in, if and when you have big parties like that, all like always already split it as you're bringing it in so that you don't have an issue like that now you have to go and look through everything and then split everything, especially if you have an old POS system like Cheddar's and Olive Garden did, like their
no,
POS. What?
Cheddar's does not have an old system. No, they don't. They have their own, and it's called Dash.
I understand that, but it's like
Old is what Chili's, Texas Roadhouse, like in that mindset, like it's Aloha. They use Aloha. I personally love Aloha, and she even says this, and she says we don't have Toast, we don't have Aloha. That their system is very difficult to work with.
what I'm saying. So like I didn't like the way the Cheddar's one was because it was very easy to like mess something up. And if you didn't have like let's say they set a five top at like at a table that only has four seats in the
Hmm.
POS, you have to then add a seat. And then you have to keep adding depending on how many checks they want to split.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So like it's easier to just split it as you go. That way like you don't have that issue. I always did that because I
Yeah.
had people I think I had a situation exactly like that where they were like, yeah, we want to split like seven ways. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean seven? Y'all can't just Venmo each other? Zelle? Like we're in 2024. Cash App, Zelle, there's 700,000 ways to send people money. Like you can't just be, I got you, just pay for it. I'll send you the money later.
I'm laughing because she said the exact same thing in the video and you haven't watched it. So it's just funny
My
how we as
God.
servers we all think alike. But so going back to that point, I guess I don't know if it's like the corporate trainer in me and like just the certified trainer and I loved what I did and so I tried to always when it came to things like that, I tried because I knew that in the end if I did it the right way and if I like worked with the system the way it was intended to, I knew that in the end it would be like a fucking breeze. Because like for example, Darden, when we have Dash and you have your seat numbers and you can move like okay, guest one is having an Arnold Palmer, like a steak,
Hmm.
French fries, broccoli, whatever, and then you hit seat two and then you put what they're eating and stuff like that. And if you do it the right way. And if at the end you hit split by guest, it automatically splits for you. So that's why in my mind I'm thinking like this system is user friendly. Like you have to like work with it for it to work with you. And so I think Aloha has something similar to that too. Or Aloha, you can actually see the separate. Aloha's easier in the sense that you have all your pages and you can move stuff around and look at it at the same time. So you're like, okay, their chips and guac is going to be on tab four.
That would be a lot easier than what Cheddar's had. Because at Cheddar's, you would have to, like, let's say guest
Change the
one
seat.
suddenly wanted, like, guest two said, although they're going to take the appetizer, even though you had it there, you have to merge them, move it, split them again. I hated that personally.
What I did like about Dash at Cheddar's and at Darden is that you can split an item in four ways.
Yes, I did like that as well.
And I don't remember if Chili's and Texas Roadhouse does that. I want to say they do, but I know for a fact because I trained it. I trained the system as a corporate trainer. I let's say we all got like a dessert or an appetizer. I would highlight that appetizer or that meal or whatever, and I would hit split or divide split by in four
I
ways
think it
or
was
by
like
four guests.
split with or like split by, and it would be, like, you would check one, two, three, and four.
Yeah. And so you'd get charged 1/4 of an appetizer. And so if it was like an $8 appetizer, you'd pay $2 of that appetizer. So again, we don't know her situation. I don't know the system that they work with. She didn't name drop the system, but regardless, like I know for a fact that splitting checks can be a bitch, especially when they also had their appetizers. Like they had, I think, like a French toast or some pastries. And when you divide like one menu item amongst nine people, like it's difficult. It can be very annoying. So I definitely sympathize with her in that situation, and it's definitely like a pain in the ass when you're having to deal with a party and seven other tables. Like, okay, so backtracking a little bit, she goes to them and I think she says, "How are we going to split the checks? Are we going to do it like three ways? Or are we going to do it all on one tab?" And they said, "No, like we need to do it nine ways. Like it's the least that you could do because our food was cold and the restaurant's cold." And they were complaining because it took so long. Well, when you get set at 1 o'clock and your party doesn't get there, like your full party doesn't get there till 2. You order, your food doesn't get there till 2:30. It's going to seem like it's a long time because you got there at 1 and your whole party was not there. You get me? So that's the point that she was trying to make. And she said, this is why restaurants have that policy of we're not going to sit you unless all your party's there or more than half of it. And they were just complaining, complaining, complaining. Then on top of that, they complain and they start saying like the food was cold, the room is cold. And she tells the manager, and the manager was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to deal with them. Just go, just split it 9 ways. And she's like, what the F? So then the server, obviously, because splitting a tab 9 ways is difficult if you don't have this, like a friendly system to do so, right? And so she's taking a while and they're rushing her. Like, they're rushing her and saying, like, we have to be somewhere, blah, blah, blah. And they're like just rushing her. And she's like, if you really cared about wherever you were going, you would have put this on one tab and you would have Zelled each other or like Venmo, like, hello. And so the girl started saying like, well, can you just charge me here? Like bring the terminal here, as if they have like the handheld terminal. And she's like, no, I don't have that. I don't have that system. And then the guest was like, they did it for us yesterday. And she's like, no, they didn't. Like, we don't have that system. Like, I hate people like that. Well, I was here yesterday and they did it for me. I don't give a fuck. First of all, when it comes to like a hard piece of equipment like that, no, like it doesn't work. Like that's not how, like you can't just say that just to get what you want. Or when guests are like, well, they did this modification for my food yesterday. Okay, well, yesterday's was yesterday. Today's a new day, and today I have a different management team. Like, that's what people don't understand is that sometimes we'll do something for you once. And I would always tell my guests this. I'm going to do this and I'm going to honor your request today. But in the future, if a different manager is here, I can't guarantee you that they're going to honor this request because this is not our policy to do so. And so, yeah, that really fucking like it irked me. So she takes a while. The guest follows her up to the POS. And she's like, hurry up, blah, blah, blah. Like, we have to be somewhere. And it's like, you coming up here is not going to like make me go any faster. Like, chill out. And so she says that she ended up giving everybody their tab. I don't remember if she said that they all walked up to the POS and they were all getting checked out there. But the way this works, or the way that their system or their restaurant works, is that if you are staying, this is just my assumption, I'm using context clues. If you're staying at the hotel, you put your room number down, I guess, so that they can charge your meal to the room and the card that they have on file. She said that 3 of the women did not pay and that people were signing their names and not putting their room numbers and just kind of like chicken scratching it. And so she said that they ended up all getting their check comped. They got their entire check comped. And then on top of that, they got free shit like pastries, she said. Oh, and she had auto-graded all their tickets. And it was going to come out to like $5 each because of the auto-grad. And she said 3 women did not pay because of the manager told her, like, and I get the manager's mentality because I was the same way. I'd rather fix something. I'd rather eat shit of $150 tab versus you going to corporate, writing a bad review or making a guest complaint, and then them sending you a $200 like gift certificate so you could use it at a later date on top of a bad review or a bad like guest complaint. And so
Oh,
I'll play devil's advocate in that sense. Like, I'd rather fix the problem while it's in my restaurant versus doing nothing about it, making them pay, making them even more upset, and then them going off and spewing all this like bullshit or lies to corporate, or like over exaggerating a situation that was never that big of a deal to begin with, just so that they could get free food. Like, I hate people like that. And so I understand the mentality of the restaurant manager, but the way she even like said the story is that the manager didn't even want to deal with it. I don't even think the manager went to the table. Like, had that been like my shift as a manager, I would have gone to the table. I would have like apologized so many times because there is some sort of like, and I get it. It was a busy shift, but either way, like there is some sort of like satisfaction when you go up to an upset guest or an upset table and you turn their day around and like you make it right for them. There are some people that are just like set in their ways and they're set in their like shit attitude and they don't like nothing that I could do could make their experience better. But this video, okay, she got over 5 million views. Someone later on asked her, like, are you going to name drop them or are you going to look for them on like TikTok and stuff like that? And she's like, no, like, I'm not going to go like that far and like look up their names and stuff like that. Like, it's not worth it. So I guess there were people like asking all these questions in her original video. So she made like she made a response video like to a frequently asked questions, and she said like, no, I haven't found out who they are. Yes, that they did tip, which I don't know how they would. Maybe they did cash or whatever because their entire meal was comped. She said she wasn't fired at that moment, but she actually at that point didn't care, like whatever. And then
So
another update
how
video.
many didn't pay out of the nine?
She said originally three had not paid and they didn't put their room number down. But then I don't know how they,
I mean,
and this is why I want her back on the
I'm
podcast.
sure they can because if they provided a card, when you run the card through the machine, it tells you their name. So if any, they probably looked up their name, look up their reservation, and probably charge them.
Well, yeah. No, 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 no. What do you mean?
Because you're saying like they didn't pay then, but she's saying that like well you're saying that the meals were covered, like they somehow found them.
No, like the manager ended up comping their entire meal. I don't know how or like in what circumstances or in what way like they wanted. I don't know like in what way they like I don't know why they would have comped their meal or their entire meal. Like I don't know. She said that they comped their entire meal. I don't know if they were in the middle of checking out and then like they were just causing such a huge scene that the manager was like, you know what, like fuck this, forget it. Like I'm just gonna like eat shit of $100 or 150, however big the tab was, just to like spare the reputation a little bit. Like, because an upset guest can go as far as like blasting you on social media, especially if you're in like a well-known city. So
This is why I couldn't be a manager. I'd be like, no, like you're in the wrong. Like that's what I. This is what I don't. I don't like a manager. This is what we address in like our first ever episode. As I don't like a manager who like doesn't have a backbone and doesn't stick up for your employees. If the guest is in the wrong,
yeah,
like the last thing I want is for you to come protect the fucking guest and then make me look like I'm doing my job wrong when I'm not.
exactly.
Like, no, I would have told if I would have been mad, I would have been like, y'all need to go sit the fuck down. We're handling your checks and you'll pay. You'll be able to pay shortly. Okay, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I think I can't remember if I've ever told a guest like I'm not taking care of your food because there are some people that cause a scene for no reason just so that they can get their food comped. And I like I've had people say like, "Well, are you not gonna cut my ticket? Like for what? Like literally for what? You ate all your food. It came out fine. You're in a bad mood because for whatever reason X Y Z, and I don't know. Like that's out of my control. Like I'm not gonna comp your entire meal. People don't realize that that goes towards like the P&L. Like and so
People
it
don't know
goes
what that is.
towards the money that we make, huh?
People don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. You don't have to explain it.
And so you can't just go out handing out free tickets and free tables, like free comps left and right when every time a guest is upset. Like you have, and that's what I'm saying. Like as a manager, if I'm able to turn around a guest and make them like happy, a lot of the times, if I can turn you around and everything is fine, I'm not gonna fucking do shit. If you're nice to me, I'll give you a discount. I'll give you like a little something. I'll give you a free dessert. Like I'll make your day and I'll like add a little cherry on top. But I'm not gonna go above and beyond when you're being like an absolute like a-hole to me and making my life difficult just so that you can get free shit. Absolutely not.
I agree.
Have you ever had a table like this difficult?
I'm the worst person to ask. I'm telling you, my mentality when I used to be a server is like, you're in, you're out. You're not gonna make an impact on my life. You're not gonna be my last table. You're not gonna be my worst table. Like my mentality when I was a server, I was like, if a guest is giving me a hard time, my main goal, like my mentality shift when I used to work, I used to be like, okay, I'm gonna give my best service to every table, no matter what. But as soon as a table like gave me attitude or pissed me off, my mentality shift from giving you good service to getting you the fuck out of here as soon as possible, so I don't have to deal with you. So like I
Exactly.
don't really remember, but I mean I can tell if I had to guess, I probably have had many. The only guess that really stands out to me is the one dude that like try to act tough and like slam his plate, like slam like ribs on a plate that he was returning, which weren't even his, they were his wife, which he was eating off, and like he like slammed the ribs on a plate saying they were cold, and it was like, let me get another one. I was like, I just looked at him, took a deep breath, and I was like, all right, bro, and I just didn't care for them anymore.
Some people are so like unhinged, and that's what gets me is like, how are you going to come out here and throw like a temper tantrum, like a toddler in a restaurant and like raise your voice and just start saying like, I need to go, like I'm in a rush, blah, blah, blah. You can't tell me that you're in a rush when you got here an hour like before everybody else and you're just sitting around like and you're making my life harder. Like you could have all paid in one tab and Zelled everyone, Venmoed everyone. Like it's like make you like
Make your own lives easy.
exactly meet me in the middle, you know. And so
And
I feel bad
as
for this
selfish
girl.
as that may sound, like to people who have never been in the service industry and hear that and think we're complaining, we're not complaining. It's 2025. I
Yeah.
can count on two hands the amount of apps that I can use to send people money. Like
Oh yeah.
if I am like if we're in a rush and I can't pay or they're having issues and we need to go somewhere, I will gladly be like, give me the money later whenever you can and let's go if you're really in that
Yeah.
much of a rush. And to add a cherry on top, if you are on a time crunch, there's a PSA to anyone out there ever going out to eat. If you are in a time crunch, the worst thing you can ever do is go to a sit down restaurant and then
Yeah.
try to rush people and be like, I'm on my lunch break. Can you tell them to hurry up? I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were the fucking president and I need to fucking make your food come out whenever you want it. No, if
Yeah,
you're in a
no.
time crunch, there's a McDonald's down the street, there's a Chipotle at the other mall, there's a Burger King down the other way. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
You're not gonna come in here and make me and tell me like I need you to rush this food. Like as if one, I'm the cook, and two, I have control over that.
Yeah. How would you act if a guest came up to the POS to rush you?
I would tell them to go back to their seat. I don't care. I'm like, I would look at me like, I would gently turn around and be like, what are you doing? Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I would, like, man, this gets me like heated because I'm not like, in the wise words of one of the managers that I heard, and I told you this the other week, this shirt,
Yeah.
like, this uniform shirt comes off. Like, you're not going to come at me and act some type of way because I'm on the clock and I'm an employee and think that like I'm your slave and that you owe me. No, no, no. Let's set the record straight. I am doing you a service. As soon as you cross that disrespect boundary, I'm no longer your server. I'm another human being, and we can talk this
Yeah.
out. Like
Yeah.
I'm not here to like deal with your bullshit. So I would have flat out if I'm at a POS trying to figure something out and they come at me first off, let me clear this up. If they come at me disrespectfully, I'm gonna give them the disrespect back. If they were to come up to me and be like, "Hey, is everything okay?" I will very kindly tell them, "Oh, I'm just figuring this thing out. Give me a few minutes and I'll be right with you." But if you come at me with some disrespect, like, yo, what the hell's taking so long? I'll be like, yo, I'm figuring your shit out. Go back to your seat. Thank you.
I'll be with you when I'm with you.
Like, nah, I will never stand for that. Like, if you're gonna be disrespectful, expect to get disrespect right back.
Yeah. So unluckily or luckily or ironically, of course, this video goes viral on TikTok and it hits over 5 million views. It either ended up on one of the girls' For You pages or someone sent it to
Like one of
her.
the guests.
Yeah, one of the guest
Okay.
comments. Okay.
Wait,
So one of
what
the
do you mean
guests finds,
one of the guests comment? Like one of the actual member of the party. Uh
yeah,
huh.
she found her video on TikTok and she saw it and she commented. Let me tell you what she commented. Oh, I think the girl said she quit. So somebody, should I say the girl's name? I'm not going to say the girl's name, but somebody comments on Teagan's video and she says, "Hey, I'm one of the lovely ladies you served that morning. All I'm hearing in this video is a lot of excuses for why we didn't receive the exceptional service we deserve. I appreciate that your manager tried to make, oh, let me read the whole comments unavailable. She deleted it.
Who is that?
So I go back. So the girl, Teagan, she made a response video to the comments because it's such a long comment. The full comment's not there. And so it's like cut off. So I hit the comment to go back to the main video and the comment's not there. But the comment said, "Hey, I'm one of the lovely ladies you served that morning, and all I'm hearing in your video is a lot of excuses. First off, don't tell me what I'm making excuses about in a job that you don't fucking work at. Like, you're not going to tell me how to do my job if you've never been in my position. We're assuming this girl has never served a day in her life or been in customer service in a restaurant in this manner because
They would understand. If you're a server, you understand other server struggles.
exactly, you would. And you're a lot more like
Empathetic.
empathetic and understanding and I guess a little bit more lenient. Like you can understand like, okay, there's a lot of factors taking place. We're in a busy restaurant, we're at a hotel, it's Sunday, we're at brunch. Like this girl is clearly in a different section or pulled out of her section where she has seven other tables. Like be hyper aware of what the server is dealing with. And people don't like that. That's what gets me is that people who have never served a day in their life or worked customer service and hospitality, they don't know what their server is going through and what else they're not dealing with, but everything that they're doing. Like it takes a special type of person to work in hospitality. And I will say this again and again, not everyone is cut out for it and not everyone can do it. So seeing as how we are talking a little bit about the comment that the guest made on her post, and funny enough, it's no longer there. I'm in her comment section, right, on this video, and it's everyone's like basically backing her up. And someone said, servers need body cams. You got a complaint? Let's roll the tape. Yo, what I would give to have a body cam as a server, as a manager, for us to give like little sneak peeks of what happens, that would be like the best thing that could ever happen to the restaurant industry and hospitality.
I agree. It'd make for
What do you
funny.
think? Someone said, huh?
No, go ahead.
Someone said rewarding bad behavior is the downfall of workers. What do you think of that? Because technically, like as managers, I understand. It's such a toxic way to think, but it's like, what would you do to save a bad guest complaint and a hit because it takes a hit on your restaurant because it goes to corporate and then corporate, like, it's just like,
I mean,
okay, how many of these do you have?
and
And
that's the issue with like corporate Americas. Like they would rather like save their own ass than like basically like do what's right. Because they'll
yeah,
take a guest complaint where they can clearly see the guest is in the wrong, but they're still gonna kiss the guest ass and basically say, no, you're wrong. Like now we're gonna like penalize you for basically not doing the same. So it's like either way, like you would lose. But me personally, like I will have that conversation with corporate, and if at the end of the day they decide to let me go, there's a million other restaurants that will hire.
that's
So
true, especially in Nashville. Someone else said, since they know so much, why don't they clock in? Like, for real though, like, I hate people that think that they're above, like, the restaurant and
not
the
even just
hospitality
above that,
worker.
they just think they know it all. Like when they hit you with the, oh, but someone did it for me yesterday, or they hit you with the, but it shouldn't be that hard. Da da da. Like,
You're telling me you don't have X, Y, and Z? And it's like, no, bitch. It's so annoying. Someone else said, I truly hope that they see this. Splitting a French toast 9 ways is
so
diabolical. And it's true.
what did
Like,
the comment of the lady said? Like, did it say? I know it was cut
the
off, but what did
comment
she say?
originally said, someone said, hey, or one of the guests said, hey, I'm one of the lovely ladies that you served on this morning. Obviously, she's being sarcastic, saying that she's a lovely lady, like she's one of the lovely ladies.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm hearing in this video is a lot of excuses for why we didn't receive the exceptional service we deserve. I appreciate that your manager tried to make dot dot dot, and then it continued. But since she deleted the comment, I can't go in to see the rest of it. So it was a $300 bill that got comped. The girl, she commented and then retracted her comment. So I feel like it's not taboo, or it's all hands on deck. I can say her name. One of the guests' name on TikTok, at least, is Jill, and you just see that it says reply to Jill's comment. And then the server responds to this comment in a video, Teagan, and she says, the hotel coworkers, my hotel staff, like they all have a file on you. The fact that it's true though, like you do get these guests that are just like, and I never thought of it like this, that are con artists. They think that they can come in, complain about whatever thing, like anything under the sun. My food is cold, or restaurant's cold, like blah, blah, blah. There's something in my drink, there's something in my food, or the food is raw. Like they think that they can just finesse their way to not pay a dime. And it's true. It's true con artistry. And you do have these people kind of like on check. Like, that once they come into your building, you have to have your guard up. You have to have your antennas up. You need to know, like, okay, everything that has gone wrong before will not go wrong today. And then even then, they'll find something wrong to complain about. And so it's very sad kind of to think that these women already have that the hotel already has like
A whole ass
these
file.
guests clocked. A whole file
That's fucking crazy.
speaks volumes. And it just tells you the type of person that they are. And the fact that she thought she was all big commenting on her video, and then she went back to delete the comment, that alone tells me that she's mortified.
Mhm.
So
Power of the internet is
I,
a scary thing.
it is. So I would recommend you all check out Teagan on TikTok. Her handle is Teagan Stewart Music. And let's see. 2 days ago, corporate reached out to her and she said that they were suspending her. They were doing an investigation. I'm guessing this person who commented on her original video went to corporate and that she violated their privacy. In the first video, I never clocked that she said that they were from Canada, but apparently they are. She defends herself and says, I didn't name the restaurant. I didn't name the hotel. I didn't name the guests. I didn't name or take picture or reference the place that I worked at. They're acting as if I took a video of the entire restaurant and blasted their names and their faces all over TikTok, and that was not the case. I understand corporate or the corporate wanting to handle and de-escalate situations, kind of like the video that went viral at Cheddar's, where the CA kind of lost his mind and it ended up on TikTok. That was actual video of the restaurant through an actual security camera. So I think that corporate had every right to say, hey, this is not a video that should have even been taken and we need it down. Like, I get that. I understand that. Teagan did nothing wrong in the situation. She went to TikTok to just vent and express her day at work. And I think that everybody else does it. Why can't we? She didn't name drop. She didn't hotel name drop. She didn't guest name drop. All she said is that she worked in Nashville and she like whatever. And there was nothing I don't think that there's anything she did wrong. I wouldn't have done it given the place that I've worked, like the positions I've worked in the past. I've been a manager, I've been a corporate trainer. So I think that it's a little different when you've been in those roles because you never want to burn bridges, especially because I made a career out of this. This was her stepping stone to something else in the future that was going to this was a stepping stone for something bigger for her. This is what she has a music account on TikTok. So I assume she's a singer songwriter. And so I don't think that her serving tables was going to be her end game or the hospitality industry. And so I think that she had every right to do what she wanted to on her personal account. And so I empathize with her and I completely have her, I have her back and given like the situation, um, what do you think, babe?
I mean, it just goes back to what I said about like management and corporate not caring for their employees. Like, I saw a video that I'm actually meant to send to your mom to see what she thought, or that it was like, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
that's very true. Like, corporate is not going to be looking out for you. Like, if you go to corporate with a problem, they're not looking at it as if like, oh my God, like, yes, let me help you with that. It's like, no, they're going about it like, okay, how can we make sure this doesn't come back to the company? How can we make sure that it doesn't hurt the company anyway? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like I said, it's like corporate didn't care for them or her, and it's like good for her for like name dropping and all that, because like it's true. Like, if I was in her situation, I would do the same damn thing. I'm like, if you think I'm gonna go and take this quietly and like get fired over something that isn't
And
my
eat shit.
fault, you got another fucking thing coming.
Yeah.
The amount of shit that we know about the places we worked, we have enough information to take that whole goddamn restaurant down. So they're
No,
lucky
yeah, we do.
they never fired us or like pissed us off in a big way. Because I was gonna burn. I will be the first one to throw the match to light that bitch on fire.
We would have burned it to the studs.
Yes, like
We would have brought that
I'm
place
not.
down.
So good for her for like standing up and being like, yeah, like if you think I'm gonna take this lying down and like just be like, okay, I got fired because of this, and like have them feel like day one they have another fucking thing coming. She is still handling this very gracefully because she only name dropped where she works. She didn't name drop the hotel, like where the hotel is.
She name drop at the very end. She's like, "Oh yeah, you think Marriott
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. It's
Corporation?"
like she just name dropped the company. Like, she didn't say exactly which one, where, the name of the restaurant. Like, she didn't do any of that. So she's still handling this very gracefully. Good for her.
I agree.
But yeah, like at this point, I would have been name dropped everybody and brought that shit,
Yeah.
brought everyone down.
Yeah. And the fact that they held her position in like they blackballed her position and they said, well, the determination of your employment here is based off of how remorseful you are because they asked her to take the video down. I would have said, kick fucking rocks, barefoot bitch. Like, absolutely not. I think that she held her own and I think that she stood on business. And I think that is what gave her the empowerment with all the other servers and food service veterans in her comments, people who truly empathize with her and relate to her. That is what empowered her because if she would have doubled down or if she would have backed down and said, you know what? I did this wrong, everyone would have been like, no, bitch, like, don't fold too easily. And she didn't. And she said, you know what? I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of firing me. Fuck you. I quit. And I'm so sure you're going to go on suspension and not get paid. And I would not. I think that I relate to her. I would have been like, see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Absolutely. I like that. And that's why I'm like, I just don't like want to, like, I mean, I say this, but I mean, I don't really care, but it's like, that is why I don't like, and quote unquote, like being too important at a job where it's like,
Yeah.
you're involved in a lot of things because like that's how you get involved in like more shit essentially. Like the more you know like about a restaurant, the more like they're gonna ask you for favors, the more stuff you're gonna see.
Yeah. They're going to rely on you more. That being said, I did reach out to her on TikTok and on Instagram, so I'm hoping to hear back from her soon. I do want to get her on this podcast. I think it'd be the perfect time to get her story out like completely and leave everything on the table, because she even said like in one of her latest videos, like she went into more depth on the phone call with corporate because there was only so much that she could share in a 10-minute long video. And I want to be able to, for her to be able to tell her story, especially coming from another group of people who truly do understand her and empathize with her and support her, because this is just too much like to deal with, and not everyone is going to understand her position like us. Like nobody else will understand her position other like except people who have been in her position. So I think it'd be a very cool interview to do, and I'm hopeful that she responds. So here's hoping. But I want to know what you guys think. Did she do the right thing? Should he did she do the right thing? Should she have taken the video down? Was she completely not in the wrong? Did she have every right to do what she did? Did she violate these people's privacy? She never name dropped a single person until somebody came into her comments saying that they were her guests. And so I want to know what you guys think. I think that this is the epitome of why we made this podcast, because we want you guys to see what truly happens behind the apron. So I'm so proud for her for leaving that toxic place. I know that management can run restaurants to the ground and they need no help of ours. And this was not a situation that happened because of Teagan's video. This is something deeper. There was a bigger problem, this restaurant and in the culture of that place, that was the demise of their own destruction. And so I hope that she gets to share her story very soon. I'm kind of excited to see if we get an answer back from her. I will keep you guys in the loop, but I'm kind of excited.
I'm also excited because that could be an interesting person to have on the podcast. Not like the people you've had before aren't interesting, but see someone who's like actively involved in.
In a current situation, we've
Yes.
talked to people who have recapped previous, their testimonies and their experiences over the entire 10 years of their food service journey. And she's someone who had something happen to her within the last 2-3 weeks. And so it's kind of happening in real time. It's all unfolding in, before our very eyes. And so I'm kind of excited to see her point of view and to kind of just get more of that backstory. So, Teagan, we'd love to have you on. If you listen to this, we cannot wait. So, yeah, if you guys have ever been in a similar situation where you've gone on social media, you've ranted, corporate reaches out to you, or if you just had something similar to Teagan's situation, like many of us have, we have endless stories that we could share. Please email us. We'd love to know. Drop a comment in the comment section, DM us on social media. We'd love to reach out to you, kind of get a little bit more of your story, and then maybe have you on the pod. If you'd like to just submit a story and we can read it for you, we can do that too. But that being said, we are at the end of our shift, and we will be back next week with some more great stories, some reality checks for you. And yeah, babe, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, nothing really. Just always stand up for yourself and for what you think is right, and don't let other people try to make you feel like the way you feel and think is wrong, and that you're not right to feel or think certain things.
Agreed. If you guys work this week, we hope you make a lot of money. I hope you have a great start to your week. Don't forget to do all the podcast things like share, comment, subscribe, and this episode to somebody that you love, somebody who works in the restaurant industry who has maybe dealt with something similar, or if you've dealt with something similar, let us know in the comments what you think. If you've been in a management position, what would you have done differently? If you've been in a server's position, what would you have done differently or the same? We want to know. We want to hear all about it. But that does it for this week. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And don't forget to clock out. We'll
We'll
see
see
you
you
next
next
week,
week,
foodies.
foodies.